Justin, our motto is use what you sell and sell what you use. And I'd like to talk about how you use AI in your work situation and then how we also use it with clients and help them be more effective and get more profound results.
I use AI daily and in all sorts of capacities, and it really has integrated into every bit of my life. But that's not to say that I rely too much on it or that I use it to cut out of work or anything. Personally, I love learning, and it's something I do every day. I don't really feel like my day is complete or I've really achieved anything unless I've learned something new. And this could be either professionally or personally. And so, right out the gate, I have different tasks set up using the paid service of ChatGPT to where it's idea creation on projects I'm working on, or most of them are different scheduled learning tasks. For example, I'm learning Scrum right now. I get a lesson delivered every day at 8 a.m. that challenges me and it teaches me. It even has a little quiz that I have to complete, and it provides feedback on how I answer. And another example on the personal level is I get a certain encouragement, little things that I have it create new each day that encourage me on certain things or help me strengthen an area where I'm weak, such as productivity or time management, something like that that I want to work on. And then moving into my main role as a director in higher education, I use it throughout the day for idea creation on courses, maybe new emerging technologies that I want to get ahead of. And so that helps, me as a director with idea creation, my instructors and my team. But then I feel it also helps the community because with, the workforce moving faster and faster with new skills emerging from AI and other technologies, if I can get a class out there and have people training in that skill, they're going to be ahead of the workforce and they're going to be ahead in what the employers even understand, which really raises every boat in the area with, raising a raising tide lifts all boats. That's impactful. And then, of course, I want to save my team hours throughout the week. So I try to go by the motto of how can I save my team 10 hours a week so that way they're not stressed or they can use that time for more organic idea creation and working with their students and with their instructors. Passing on to teaching at a university level, I I'm using AI and GPTs that I've created specifically for classes such as project management or leadership to help my students who are working on a 4-year degree become AI literate or strengthen their AI literacy. So by the time they graduate and they move into these roles, they're not left behind. They're actually innovators in their field in business. And whether they're starting their own business or they're hired into an organization, they benefit, their venture benefits, and they feel prepared for a new workforce. And then another way that I use it is in consulting. Martin, you and I do consulting and we offer courses. And so, of course, if you're going to be training on a topic like artificial intelligence, you have to stay ahead because it seems like every day a new story is breaking or something's been developed. And it's not just on a state or national level. I mean, we really have to stay in tune with a global news development. Deep Seek out of China or Mistral out of France. We really have to keep up with everything. And so I use, Copilot or ChatGPT to be able to organize news stories that keep me relevant and keep, our content up to date on a daily basis. But then when working with clients who are just dipping their toe into it, for example, a nonprofit or a small business, outside of our training, it helps me create reports. So when I'm consulting with clients, not only am I able to use it for, the typical creating agendas or creating reports or summaries, but it helps me by using it every day and really using it to teach me how to use it in a way and staying up with the developments. It helps me be more impactful to those clients and create value for them, which helps them be innovators in their niche or their industry, which really benefits them. And I feel like that really echoes and ripples out in various different ways. So it's not something I rely on. I'm a strong believer, as anybody who's met me and talked to me about AI, in the emergence of AI and human intelligence, HI, and how we have to take a hybrid approach. We can't let it take over the thinking for us. We still need to be in the driver's seat. But really, when we're able to apply our empathy and critical thinking skills to the power of the compute and the generative tools that it has, I think that emergence is where you really see people shine. And that's really what I strive for, to become the strongest version of me without becoming dependent on these tools.
There's one more thing that you do that's important to mention is data analysis with it. And that's something that you've got quite masterful with. So talk a little bit about that, because it's not just the writing the content, the reviewing, but the analysis and using these as a tool that you then verify.
Right. And so I like to joke that I completed the Google data analysis certificate, and it was a great certificate. I really enjoyed the program. However, by the time I finished it and working with AI tools, even then, I started to realize that all the time I invested in it to a degree was already replaced with the use of some of these tools. And that was a journey that really put into practice to me, the saying that says AI won't take your job, but someone who is literate and effective in AI will take your job. Because if you understand data analysis to a degree, even if you don't understand a lot of the heavy tools, there are tools now to where, if as long as you just have a grasp on it, the tools can take over. For example, with Google Workspace Labs and Chat GPT, using it ethically and safely, not putting anybody's information into it, I can do a ton of data analysis that would have taken me a lot of time building spreadsheets, making the data clean and safe, which you still need to be involved in, and then writing reports and analysis of it. I'm really big on checking behind everything, really being involved in the process and not just dumping a report out, but the depth of analysis and what I can do with it is just well beyond what I would have been able to do, and in such a shorter time than what I used to take when creating reports or budget summaries or things like that, or determining cost analysis. It's I still have the knowledge there, but I can expedite it and I can just create a much better product.
The way we often explain it is, it's sort of like, imagine your ledger sheet and now it's a person you can talk to
Hmm.
and ask questions with. And that's the amazing thing. I think something you and I have explained in our classes is, imagine an ink pen that could then record everything you write. Okay, that's cool. Then you could ask what it wrote. But with AI, it's an ink pen that could record everything you write, and then you could say, summarize it, or tell me who are all the people that I noted that seem to have a lot of free time that might
Hmm.
be in need of extra support or overworked or something like that. And this is the next level, that conversational component that you and I are using daily, that many people don't know because there was nothing like it
Hmm.
before. We never had something where, yes, it might get our data in and we might be able to recall it, but we couldn't have a dialogue conversation with the data.
And that brings me to another point too, when you're talking about data or anything really. One way that I use it that I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is doing a 360 review or finding blind spots. Not only can I ask about data and where I may be missing something, but I can also have, as you and I like to say, a dialogue with, say, ChatGPT, where I can have it ask me questions. I provide answers to those questions, and then it can do an analysis of my responses. And so, for someone in a leadership position, I have to constantly make sure that I'm aware of how I handle situations, so that way my team is getting the best version of me. that I'm being fair, I'm being equal, and really doing a good job by my team. And so sometimes what I'll do is I'll ask it to do a 360 review or a annual review, mock annual review of me as a leader, and I'll have it ask me questions. And I really have to make sure that I'm really clear and I give the best honest answer I can. And it's really nice because sometimes some of the results that I receive actually do help me develop. And I think that's one way or one thing that a lot of people miss when they're looking at AI. They like to talk about the hype and they like to talk about the analysis and the things it can't do, or the way that it makes us, I guess, less human or lazy. But really, I think the only thing that really limits that is our imagination and how we apply it in situations like that, where I can actually use that in self improvement. It's one thing I tell my clients a lot is you really have to be creative. And if you think of an idea that you might think is silly or whatnot, really, that's the kind of ideas you want to use with these tools, because when you do that, that's when you really understand what they're capable of, and you really kind of unlock something in yourself that just makes you more impactful and effective in your job and as a prompt engineer or a user of these tools.
One of the things I enjoy the most is when we're working with people and we find new ways to explain how they can get more information out of their own data, multiply their efforts, save hours in their week. That's the real joy that occurs, or help them set up systems so that they have more of a system in place so that it'll work better. And that's what I wanted to do with this, Justin, is just give people a kind of a day in the life of your work. I myself use it all the time, from conversations while I'm on the road, asking me questions, challenging me with information. And then in writing, I've been training a GPT in my voice so I can get it to do a rough draft in my voice and then have it analyze. Have I missed anything? Go out and research. What have I missed in this? Is there anything that I should include? It's such a powerful tool because it's not like anything we've had in our life before. So that's why it's important that people get good quality training like ours and learn how to maximize these tools, both in small businesses or professionals. And like you said, also how to protect the data. So you aren't training your corporate data out on the system for a future large language model that comes out.
Yes, and my message to anyone who is feeling overwhelmed or thinks that they've been left behind, we love to use the analogy of learning to surf and riding a wave. The thing about innovation is there's always a new wave. And for those who feel like they've missed the wave and they're sitting there, a new wave is coming. And I really have embraced over this year, especially when it comes to AI, is the kind of concept of delta iota, which is the concept that small, constant changes, especially in learning, lead eventually to exponential results. And that's the thing. You just have to remember to learn one new thing a day. And whether it's watching our videos or doing your research or attending a seminar, it it's those small things daily and consistently, especially with AI, that really you look back and you realize, wow, I've come a long way. And I'm glad that I just kept it up. And that's when I talked about tasks and the daily use of it. That's just, I try to push the envelope further each day and strengthen my understanding of it. And that's just what I would encourage to anyone.
Excellent, Justin. And we'd love to hear from others. How are you using AI in your work? And if you want to find out more about our training and resources, check the links below. Make sure to click subscribe in the bell and have a fantastic day.